Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in this video we are going to create a drawer layout in Jetpack Compose. So let's start a new project and choose the empty compose activity. Name it whatever you want. I am going to call it drawer app, and yeah, hit the finish button, and then I will come back when the build is ready. So the build is ready. So I am going to show you what we are going to create in this video. So I will show you in my emulator. So this is the application we are going to make in this video. It has a drawer layout. So we will click on this menu hamburger icon, and there are three components. So we select screen 2, and we can go to screen 2 and screen 3 as well as, and by default it will be on screen 1. So whenever you launch the application it will show the first screen. So that is what we are going to make it. So let's start. Now we will make our drawer component function. So it's going to be a composable function. So declare it as a composable, and give it a name of drawer component, and then we need a state for our drawer. So whether it is closed or open, so we need to define a state for opening and closing. So I will call it value val drawer is state, and we are going to save it in a remember function. So remember, and we have a remember drawer state function for especially for drawer, so we will use that. And the initial value is going to be drawer value dot close. So initially it will be closed. So this drawer state is used for holding a state value in the composable. Then we need to define the current screen. So when the app is launched, which screen will be shown. So for that we need another value for current screen, and we will use again a remember function, just remember, and we are gonna set mutable state of, and then we will pass the first scene. So drawer app scene dot scene 1. Then we will create another val for routine scope, coroutine scope, sorry. So CORU coroutine scope, which will allow us to open and close the drawer. So, and it's going to be a remember function as well. So remember, not remember, sorry, it's going to be a routine, a remember coroutine scope. So remember coroutine, which will basically allow to close and open the drawer. Now we will define a model drawer, which is a predefined composable, which is used to access the destination in the app. So model drawer, and it's going to need some parameters. So drawer content is already there, but we need little bit more than drawer content. So we also need the drawer state. So let's pass the drawer state first. So drawer state equal to drawer state, and then we will pass the drawer content. So let's here create our drawer content component. So drawer content component, which is basically going to hold all the things in the drawer. And after that we need a content for body, so what we will have in the screen as well. So let's define the content here as well, content, and I am going to call it body content. So now we need to define this drawer component composable. It's going to be a composable function, so we need to create it. So let's do that. So create a composable function, and yeah, now we need to pass some parameter for current screen and for closing the drawer. So let's pass for the current screen first. So current screen, and I'm going to set it to mutable state, and then we need to pass the enum class that we created earlier. So drawer app scene, and the second parameter is going to be a unit function for closing the drawer. So I will call it on, let's call it close drawer, and which is going to be a type of unit, which means it does not return any value. Now we need to pass these parameters in our drawer content component, which we are calling it here. So the first thing is current screen, and I am going to set it to current screen, and the second is close drawer, so we will just call it close drawer. And in this close drawer we are going to call the function to close the drawer. So we will just use the drawer state and call the function close, but you cannot directly call it, so we will have to use the coroutine scope. So let's call it coroutine scope dot launch function, and inside launch function we are going to call this drawer state dot close. So yeah, this is it for closing the drawer. Now we need to create this body content composable function. So we will define what is going to be in the body, or let's call it the main screen. So let's create it. So go to this red bulb and create a composable function body content, and this function is also going to have two parameters. So the first one is going to be current screen, and this time we don't have to pass the drawer app screen because it has three screens, but we only need one. At one time we will only have one screen, so I will call it drawer app scene dot, okay, only drawer app scene. And the next is going to be method for opening the drawer, so I will call it open drawer, and declare it as a unit function. And now we need to do the same thing here to pass these two parameters. So let's call it current screen equals current scene. Oh, screen not scene. Okay, so I have mistakenly typed scene instead of screen, so I'm going to refactor it, or let it be app scene, does not matter really in the naming. And yeah, after current screen, we need to pass the second argument. So second argument is open drawer, and we will do the same thing again. Coroutine scope dot launch, and here we will call the close method or function, open method and instead of close, and we need to delete these two, and we have error current screen equal to current screen. Okay, so here we have to only pass one screen, not all of them, so we will call current screen dot value. And yeah, we have the basic draw layout, but we don't have anything yet in our drawer component and body component, so this is what we are going to do next. So let's implement the rest of the drawer content component. So I'm going to delete this to do, and the first thing we need is the column. So let's create column, and column is you can think of it as a linear layout in vertical orientations. So column, and then we need some modifiers. So modifier dot fill max size, and inside this column we will create a for loop to show all of the scene destination. So let's create a for loop for index in drawer app scene dot, we call it values. So it will run through all of the indexes in the drawer app scene. So we have how many? 3 scenes. So yeah, and we also need to call the dot indices, not here and here, dot indices, and then we need to not scene, screen. So SCREEN screen, and for this we need a function so we can get screens by index. So we will say get screen by index, and we will pass this index value which we created in the for loop. So now we need to create this function first, so let's do that. And this is not going to be a composable function, it is just going to be a normal function, and it has already taken index as int, which what we needed, so it's good. And here we need a when function, so it's like a switch function. Basically it has almost the same functionality as switch. So we will say when 0, so the if index is 0, then we will say drawer, and it's not taking, it, so Oh, here we need equal signs, not the, I don't know what we are called. So when 0, we will call it drawer app scene dot scene 1, and when it is 1, we will call drawer app scene 2, and when we have 2, we will call drawer app scene.3, and the default value is going to be drawer scene 1, so we will call it drawer app scene 1, and it should not show an error. So oh, so I forget to pass the index. Here we need to pass this index that we created, and yeah, so basically we have defined all the drawer app scene for index base, so 0 1 2, and yeah, so now we need to get back to our drawer content component and continue with our the component. So after the screen val, we need another column. So I will call it column and pass some modifier. So modifier dot clickable, because it need to be clickable, so we can click and go through the different destinations. So modifier dot clickable, and I guess it requires a function. So we will say on click clickable. Okay, so we need the on click, and here we can pass current screen dot value equal screen, and then we need to close the drawer. So I will just call here close drawer function. No, we need to pass this closed drawer right after setting the screen. So we will set it here. Seems like something is wrong. So we will just pass the closed drawer here after the screen. So let's say close drawer, and so where are we? So after this we need our content. So what is going to be in other things other than clickable, because there has to be something otherwise where we will click. So content, and in content we will just create a surface. So surface, and let's get rid of these two, they create so much confusion sometimes. So surface, and in this surface we are going to need to pass some modifier. So we will say modifier equals modifier dot fill max width, yeah, fill max width, and we can also pass color. So I will say color. So if we are going to put inside if else statement, so if current scene dot value equal screen, so if it's showing screen, then we will pass the we will pass a material theme color. So let's bring it down. It's getting out of the screen. So here we will pass the material theme dot color dot secondary, or if it's not, then we will just say here else material theme dot surface, sorry, dot colors dot surface. And why it's showing error? So assignments are not expressions and only expressions in this context. Oh, so I forgot to put the double equals. So yeah, it's gone. And then we just need to define the text here. So I will simply call it text, and we are going to pass the value of scene name. So I will say text equals scene, no, scene, not scene, screen dot name, and we can pass the modifier. So modifier equals modifier dot, we can pass some padding, so 16.dp. Let's import the dp, and yeah, I think we are done for the drawer content component. And now we need to define the body content, this one. So let's do that. So in the body content, we are just simply going to create a when function, when, and we will pass the current screen, and then we need to call the drawer app scene dot one. We will simply say screen one, screen one component, and we will also pass the open drawer function. Otherwise the drawer will be freezed or shut and it will not open, so we have to pass here. So let's create this screen one component. It's going to be a composable function. So here the parameters are passed by itself. So in the scene we will just have a simple app bar, and yeah, just a text saying the name of the scene. So let's do that. So let's create a column and create the modifier, and we'll say fill max size, and in this column we will create our app bar. So to create an app bar, we will say top app bar, and it requires a title. For title we will say it text, and it's going to be, we will say title scene 1. All right, and we remove this. Okay, and after the app bar we need an icon to show our hamburger sign. We will say navigation icon. Something forgot. Okay, I forgot the comma. And then I will say navigation icon, and then I will pass the icon button, and we will simply say on click. So we will say open drawer. That's it. And we need to pass the image for the icon. So I will say icon, and I'm going to use the image vector. So image vector, and I can say icons dot build dot menu, and for content description you can pass anything. I'm going to call it menu. After the top app bar we will create our surface. So here I will say surface and create the color for it. So color, and just going to pass a random color. So 0 into, not into, but x, f, then small f, 7d, 7d, small d, and we need to convert into int. So I will call it to int, and yeah, this is going to be the color. And after that we need a modifier. So here I guess modifier dot weight. So it will take up the rest of the entire screen, one app, because it's a float type. Then we need a column. So I will say column, and it's also gonna need a modifier. So modifier dot fill max size, and we need some arrangements. I will say vertical. Okay, here vertical arrangement, and we are going to say arrangement dot, yeah, center, first one, and then also need horizontal alignment. So I will say arrangement dot center horizontally, and we got some error. Oh, this should be alignment, not arrangement, and alignment dot center horizontally. And lastly we need the content. So for the content we will just put a text there. So I will say text, and for text we will just say scene 1, and we need to delete this curly braces, and I guess we are done for the one scene. So let's quickly create the other two scenes. So I will just copy and paste it, and I will say scene 2, and here we also need to call it scene 2, then here scene 3, and here scene 3, and yeah, it's basically copy paste. So we'll just quickly create these two functions. Let's call the whole thing inside of this function. paste it here. We just need to change the text here, nothing else. Scene 2, and let's also create this component, and we will do the same here. Instead we call it 3 and scene 3, and I guess our drawer app is ready. So let's see, run it, and let's see whether it's performing or not as we hope. So I'm going to run it and I will come back later when the app is launched. And the app is launched and you can see the app. So here if we select screen 2, then we can go to screen 2 and screen 3. So screen 3, and when you click it, it went into the, what, how do I say it, it disappear, and when you click the hamburger icon it appears. So that's it for the video, guys, and tell me, do you like it or not? Also comment if my voice is enough loud to hear, because I think this is the maximum I can do with my current mic. Otherwise I will have to change my mic. So yeah, hit me in the comment below and let me know what you think of this video. And also if you like the content, then please like the video and subscribe the channel. Goodbye for now. Take care.